Most mental hygiene practices have general targets. For example, when you brush your teeth and do good oral hygiene, the general target is dental plaque, aiming to keep it at a minimum and preventing it from becoming excessive and causing issues. The same goes for mental hygiene. The general target is our chattering mind. There are many terms we can use to point to this internal experience that we all have. Some might call it the monkey mind or the hamster wheel that keeps on turning. I've kind of learned to call it the blah, 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 blah. This is not to be confused with practical thinking, where we organize, plan, think through, deeply reflect, and problem solve. This is an entirely different type of mental experience and not the target of mental hygiene. When we talk about the chattering mind or the blah, 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 this represents the kind of non-practical thoughts that are kind of non-stop in our minds and kind of stay with us all day. We might observe that this type of mental pattern is much more common and predominates over the other type of more useful thinking we just outlined before. The blah, 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 blah can take on many different forms. One in particular is called rumination, where we generally think in a negative way in a circular, repetitive fashion. Another is called mind wandering, where our thoughts drift off here, there, and everywhere, and we're distracted and often away from what requires our attention in this present moment. Those mental patterns are very common and quite normal in the human experience. However, it has become clear that when these types of mental patterns become excessive, they can contribute to a decrease in mental well-being and make us more vulnerable to mental illness. In other words, non-stop excessive thinking does not contribute to mental well-being, but rather it is a detriment. Mental hygiene aims to address this tendency that we all have to just kind of think too much. Whether we're doing gratitude or breathing exercises, journaling, exposing ourselves to nature, learning to catch those negative thoughts, or practicing self-compassion, mental hygiene assists in reducing that blah, 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 and helps to create a mental space where there's room for clarity of thought, as well as a sense of calmness, which can assist with our well-being. Remember, too, that it's important to keep a balanced view and not demonize the blah, blah, blah. A good analogy for this is dental plaque. Everyone has some amount of dental plaque, and that is totally normal and okay. But it is when dental plaque becomes excessive that it can lead to problems like cavities. Dental hygiene aims to minimize dental plaque and keep it from becoming excessive, but it does not aim to eliminate it. Similarly, mental hygiene aims to minimize the excessive, non-stop, non-practical thinking, but it does not eliminate the blah, 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 which everyone has.